Hello and welcome to the Rhythm and Roots Show with Rowan and Al of the Dublin City Rounders, your weekly dose of ragtime, music hall, bluegrass, country blues, early jazz, western swing, and more. We got live sessions and interviews with guests local and around the world, recorded at Beardfire Studio, Dublin, Ireland. Be sure to like Rhythm and Roots on Facebook, catch up with the podcast on Spreaker.com, and don't forget you can become a Rhythm and Roots Patreon patron today. Now enjoy the show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're all very welcome to Rhythm and Roots on Dear FM 90.3 on this Friday afternoon, heading into the evening. Hope you're keeping well wherever you are. We have a jam-packed show that we have to power through today. So
yeah, we packed a lot of jam into the show.
Lots of jam. So we're going to kick things straight off with some Vesta Tilley in a moment. Later in the show, we got an interview with Ria Rua and loads of new music. But let's start with Vesta Tilley, this little song called I've Got a Bit of a Blighty One.
And petted so I wear a real live lord in the convalescent ward. It's a treat, lots to eat. Who was it said we were short of meat? But I felt queer when I first got over here. What is the matter with you? The M.O. said. I said as they lifted me in my little bed, I've a bit of a blighty one, but nothing to speak of. A bit of a blighty one, that's all. All through a splinter from a 4.2. I'm into, but I'm never feeling blue. I'm having a cushy time for nothing to speak of. I'm treated like a long-lost son. When the saucy little nursey tucks me in and calls me Percy. Oh, I'm glad I got this bit of a blighty one. No complaints. No complaints, everyone's satisfied, no complaints, just ask my chums, and you'll hear them all say some. Yesterday, Lady Grey brought us some chocolates, oh I say, such lovely chocs. We each had a 3-pound box. We guzzled those sweets till our faces all turned white. Then, oh, what a casualty list there was that night. I've a bit of a blighty one, but nothing to speak of. A bit of a blighty one, that's all. All through a splinter from a 4.2. I'm into, but I'm never feeling blue. I'm having a cushy time for nothing to speak of. I'm treated like a long-lost son. When they mop my brow with sponges and they feed me on long sponges. Oh, I'm glad I got this bit of a blighty one. I've a bit of a blighty one, but nothing to speak of. A bit of a blighty one, that's all. All through a splinter from a 4.2. I'm into, but I'm never feeling blue. I'm having a cushy time for nothing to speak of. I'm treated like a long-lost son. When I think about my dugout, where I dare not poke me mug out. Oh, I'm glad I got this bit of a blighty one.
Bill collectors gather round and rather haunt the cottage next door. Men the grocer and butcher sent, men who call for the rent, But within a happy chappy and his bride of only a year seems to be so cheerful, he has an earful of the chatter you hear. Every morning, every evening, ain't we got fun, huh? Not much money, oh, but honey, ain't we got fun, huh? The rent's unpaid, dear, we haven't a bus, but smiles were made here for people like us, yes, in the winter, in the summer, don't we have fun, huh? Times are bum and getting bummer, still we have fun. There's nothing surer, the rich get rich and the poor get children. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun, huh? Summer, don't we have fun, huh? Times are bum and getting bummer, still we have fun. There's nothing surer, the rich get rich and the poor get children. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun? Just to make their trouble nearly double, something happened last night. To their chimney a gray bird came, Mr. Stalk is his name, and I'll bet 2 pins a pair of twins just happened it was a bird. Still they're very gay and merry, just at dawning I heard. Every morning, every evening, don't we have fun, huh? Twins and pairs, dear, come in pairs, dear, don't we have fun? We've only started as mother and pop. Are we downhearted? I'll say that we're not. No, landlord's mad and getting madder. Ain't we got fun, huh? Times are bad and getting badder. Still we have fun. There's nothing surer. The rich get rich and the poor get laid off. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun? Are awful narrow, but we got fun, yes. They won't smash up our Pierre Farrow. We ain't got none. There's nothing surer. The rich get rich and the poor get laid off. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun?
You're listening to Rhythm and Roots on Near FM 90.3 with Rowan and Al today. Hope you are keeping well. That was Billy Jones there with Ain't We Got Fun, an old Edison recording there. Next up, we've got a brand new track from Runa, one of our favourites here on Rhythm and Roots. New song out today, Friday the 10th of July. Brand new single. It's the first single since Same Face, which I believe was out in like January or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
A great music video there online as well for Same Face. Definitely check it out. And there is a music video in the works for this track as well, Entropy. Let's have a listen to it. This is Runa with her brand new single, Entropy.
Been bricked in, and I have been so many versions. I got lost in it. Where do I belong? Where do I exist? I am entropy. was lost in it. Where do I belong? Where do I exist? I am
Frisco Jazz Band there with the Johnson Jazz Blues.
Mm-hmm.
Next up,
can't get enough jazz here on Rhythm and Roots
and jazz. Yeah, .com.
Yeah, they rejected the name Rhythm and Jazz for some reason. I don't know why.
They said jazz hasn't been a genre of music for over 100 years, and we said that's true. But we do love to listen to some early jazz before it was renamed to the more common jazz, as we know it these days. But even more up to the minute, we're going to have a listen to some new Amy Ellen now. This is Amy Ellen's third single. I believe we aired the last two Amy Ellen singles. Big fans here on Rhythm and Roots. The new single is called In the Dark. It's out today as well on the 10th of July. So do get online and support that on Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you can find it. Amy Ellen, In the Dark. So yes, it's a brand new track relating to the lockdown, self-isolation. It resonates with the fear of what's to come in life. I think something we can all relate to. I think you can hear some sirens out there as well at the moment. So yes,
they finally found us.
They finally found us. Our underground pirate radio. Yar. So a wonderful, hopeful, dreamy sentiment in the track, but it's paired with some very dark kind of themes that I think we can all relate to at the moment as we adjust to the brave new world we find ourselves in. This is Amy Ellen with her brand new single, In the Dark.
I know a boy and a girl who are feeling oh so grand.
Down at the altar they soon will be kneeling,
Hand in hand, you're wondering who they may be. It's just my dearie and me. For the two of us, there's a June honeymoon. For the two of us, happy days. Folks all around have invitations. Each one in town sends congratulations for the two of us. Soon the choir will sing as we take the marriage vow. We have a house and lots to live upon. It was a gift we got from Uncle John. It may be for three of us later on, but it's just for the two of us now. Are you prepared for the big celebration soon to be?
there'll be a crowd with a band at the station.
Be sure to leave. They'll keep us busy, I know, judging the rice that they throw. For the two of us, there's a June honeymoon. For the two of us, happy days. Folks all around have invitations. Each one in town sends congratulations for the two of us. The choir will sing as we take the marriage vow.
We've built this little house and lots to live upon. Everything to make us happy and depend upon.
It may be for three of us later on, but it's just for the two of us, just for the two of us now.
That was Horace Wright and Renee Dietrich there with For the Two of Us. And very shortly, the two of us are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with much more music and chat in the second half of the program here on Rhythm and Roots on Near FM 90.3. When we come back, we're going to have an interview with an excellent up-and-coming songwriter, Ria Rua, someone who cut her teeth as a professional session musician, a drummer, and also working with orchestras and things like that, but is now getting into and in quite a striking fashion the world of songwriting and production. Her music is very evocative and very cool. She got a grant, I believe, from the Arts Council or however it worked, to do 3 songs, a trilogy of songs, all focused on COVID-19 and social and world events surrounding that issue, and then the personal as well. But I'll let her describe it. She does a much better job of it in the interview itself, and then we'll be listening to her single, the first single from that trilogy, which is called I Can't Sleep, and I can't wait to hear it later in the show.
We can sleep.
We can sleep. So yes, give us a few moments. We will be back after this short ad break here on Rhythm and Roots Near FM 90.3 with Rowan and Al, and we will see you all again very soon with Ria Rua. Hello and welcome back to Rhythm and Roots on Near FM 90.3 with Rowan and Al today on this Friday evening. Hope you are having a great time wherever you might be and enjoying the tune so far on the show. Let's jump now into our interview with a wonderful young artist called Ria Rua. We are joined today for our interview with Ria Rua. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Is that your catchphrase?
Yeah.
Every time you walk in the
One of
sitcom.
those. It sounds like I'm from The Simpsons or something.
Hello, everybody. Wow, yeah. So let's just kick things off in the real time. We'll go back to everything else, but I've just had a chance to listen to your sneaky listen to your upcoming single, which is coming out later in July. Is that correct? Called Red.
Yeah, that's it.
Man, pretty damn good. Yeah, I guess it's so interesting because it's like, you know, it reminds me a little bit of, and it's the same with the current single I Can't Sleep as well. There's a little bit of Kimbra in there, some of her darker, kind of heavier stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's also got like a really nice, because there's elements of kind of future bass, a little bit of dubstep in there, but also it's very current. But it gives me vibes of like the first Matrix film. Like there's this club scene, you know, where it's like everything. I just feel like people should be ninja fighting to your music or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I absolutely love soundtracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can, obviously you can tell that in my music. And soundtracks were like a big, like turning point for me when I started doing music. I was just like so like into them and involved with them, and they just made me feel so many different emotions that I was like, oh my god, I need everything to be absolutely epic. Yes,
and well, it comes through, my goodness. And I think as well, just all the conceptual stuff, like I don't quite know how to explain it unless someone's actually listened to it, but obviously we'll have a chance after the chat to have a proper listen to at least I Can't Sleep, and maybe later in the show we'll give a spin to the acoustic version as well. But it's like there's a lot of kind of fourth wall breaking kind of stuff in your music as well, where you're very much almost aware that it's a song at certain points. I don't know if that explains it properly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like actors obviously do that, and TV shows obviously do that as well. I suppose I just wanted to be really real.
Mm-hmm,
you know,
yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of things in this world are, you know, very like man-made, if you get me. And obviously this song is man-made. I'm a human, obviously, but I just wanted to be real, and that's kind of my goal as an artist, is to, you know, like bring messages across that I want to get across, and you know, express my emotions the way that I want to. And the I Can't Sleep, the first single that I released, is a real kind of, you know, like what I was feeling at the time and during the lockdown, and that's when I wrote it. And I just it seemed to have spoke with people, and I'm just so glad that happened.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. If you take that approach from the creative standpoint, where you're trying to make it as organic and natural and close to your experience as possible, it'll have a much higher chance of resonating with other people.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think with I Can't Sleep, the funny thing is, I actually had COVID-19 while writing it.
Nice. I hope that was in the press release. That's good material right there.
I know, right? And I was writing it, and it actually took me 4 weeks, because I was like, I wasn't too bad, but I was sick for about 2 weeks, and I was writing it as I was, you know, as I had a temperature. It was kind of funny, but I wasn't too bad. I was one of the really, really lucky ones. I didn't have it bad at all, so it wasn't too bad. But it was kind of surreal that I was writing a song about COVID-19 while having COVID-19.
That is bizarre. Well, it's mad to think that song just wouldn't have come along. And you know, in this environment in the last few months, there has been, like, obviously a hell of a lot of negativity and not good stuff, whether it's the health side of it or whether it's the economic side of it, psychological side of it. But we have to find the positives in there somewhere, and it is. You've got yourself a pretty darn cool song. You got your first single out of it, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, you know, I work professionally as a drummer as well. That's what I was before creating all this music, and the lockdown really actually made me concentrate on, you know, really just going for it and believing in myself, and, you know, just writing and just expressing myself and getting the lyrics that I wanted out, getting the message that I wanted out. And I've just been super, super lucky to live in the countryside when there's absolutely no one around, you know, and the microphone doesn't pick up city noises and all of that. And I just applied myself over the years to learning music production, and I just love it. I love it to bits, and it's just such an expression. Like I'm nearly emotional talking about it. It's just been the most amazing experience of my life.
Wow. I was to be fair, I would say that some city sounds probably wouldn't go amiss in some of your music, to be honest, at certain points, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You stick the microphone out the window. But yeah, you have to, I mean, we have to look for the silver linings in this very odd period, and it's so cool that something like this has come out of it for you. And you're right, if you know, as a live musician myself, that whole aspect disappearing forces you to dig into yourself and figure out what you can do and hopefully find some really cool positive stuff. The music production side, like each of the songs that I've heard so far are very epic is the word, and also just they're like a real journey, you know. And also it's, you know, like you were saying there on the lyrics side of it, obviously very very socially aware messages, I would say, in your music. Do you want to talk a little bit about the lyrical content, or what you were feeling when you were writing the first tune, I Can't Sleep, but then also talk a little bit about what people can expect with Red? Yeah,
absolutely. So actually, what came about with these two songs is they were actually, I applied to the Arts Council for the COVID award, and I was really, really lucky to get funded for it.
Cool.
So my project for this was to write 3 songs about the coronavirus. And the first one, I Can't Sleep, was like a global perspective on the crisis, and that's why President Trump is featured in it.
Freestyle.
And the thing is, like, he's actually a very soft target for these things because he's so terrible. You know, like, everything is about him, and
it's almost too easy. It reminds me of George W. Bush at the time as well. It was a very similar situation, you know. Yeah,
absolutely. And I suppose, like, my lyrics were just directed at him and how he could be so, like, hurtful to, like, people and affect their lives like that. And I felt that I had to be direct with the lyrics, and I know sometimes artists and art like this doesn't go direct to it, and I decided, as you were saying with the fourth wall, just to say it as it is, you know. Why not? And the second part of the project is Red, which is just released there on Friday, which is brilliant. And so that's about the national perspective. And I was finding when I was going, like, shopping for food, that, like, there was people around the place that had such big egos and thought that they, knew better than the health experts, and weren't wearing masks, or weren't doing the social distancing, or weren't helping, like, because we're doing all this, like, to help, like, the world and to help old people and vulnerable people. And it was just such an amazing thing to write about, because getting right to the point is something that I don't think is done enough. And that's kind of what I did. But so, and the third one, which is not written yet, will be all about my personal perspective.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
A trilogy, as it were, from that. That's very cool, actually. And you're right, like, a lot of the time, people beat around the bush with regards to lyrics, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that as well, because, a lot of the time with poetry or lyric writing, the artist makes a conscious decision to leave it up to interpretation.
Absolutely.
But then you've got a song like Imagine by John Lennon that is very much to the point, isn't it? So it's there's absolutely room for it all, and particularly in times of such unprecedented kind of crisis. There's not too much time to sit down and annotate and analyze.
Absolutely. Well, I think my personality is very much to the point.
Yeah.
So everything that I was saying was me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like for me, expressing myself through my lyrics and through my music as Rhea is the way that I could only write music.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've done.
So sorry, I think you said before the acoustic version was out on Friday, but when is Red out or planned to be out?
So Red is out on the 3rd week of July.
3rd week of July. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting all my thirds mixed up here, man.
Yeah, it's all about the 3rd.
Yeah. And in terms of so to put it into context as well, this I Can't Sleep was the first single you released, as Rhea. What was your background before that? You mentioned the drumming, obviously, but certainly, as someone who does music production, it's a really accomplished debut single. Obviously, this is something that has been interesting you for a long time. How did you get into music production, and what have you been up to leading up to this project?
Yeah, well, as I said before, that I was really inspired by musical scores and film scores and TV scores and everything like that. And my background in drumming, I play a lot of musical theatre and that type of stuff. So I was always learning from like epic composers.
Yeah, 100%.
Someone like Hans Zimmer or like basically the bigger the better in my mind. And I was inspired by like bands like Portishead and like Metallica and Prodigy and like I suppose it's something that that's definitely where the inspiration came from. But music production wise, I've been doing this for a while now, but I started actually writing orchestra music, and that's where it started. And then I was like, do you know what? I absolutely love to write dance music, and I couldn't just find exactly where my heart was.
Yeah.
I couldn't find exactly where it was. Absolutely loved orchestras, played in orchestras all my life and stuff like that. But this music that I'm writing now is something that took obviously years to make, and it doesn't just come overnight.
No.
But it definitely was inspired from orchestra and just playing drums and playing to bands that I really enjoyed. So that's where that started. No,
I love it, and I kind of have a soft spot for it because I think there's room for everything, and I do like a lot of very wide variety of music, but I do definitely have a soft spot for that absolute like brash epic sound, because it's like, because a lot of the time, especially these days where a lot of the stuff that's being produced is, and again, there's absolutely top tier versions of this as well, but there's a kind of lo-fi, there's a lot of almost less is more, to the point where there's nearly nothing kind of music. I'm not saying anyone in particular. I do love indie, and I love a lot of lo-fi stuff too. But like at the moment, and I'll take any opportunity to talk about this. My brother will know the band Protest the Hero, Canadian kind of prog metal band, who are absolutely amazing. They put out a record this week, and it is just so. I'm like I don't know if this kind of stuff would you dig it, but I'm going to send you the link afterwards, just because it's so
brilliant,
big and wonderful and complicated, and just so like I was saying, it almost makes me anxious listening to it, because I know how much work went into it, and even listening to your stuff, I'm like, oh my god, okay, there's a pan, oh my god, there's another vocal effect, holy crap, yep, that took time, that took effort. And I think a lot of the time people listening to music, and they don't need to know this. Their job is to connect with it and just enjoy it on whatever level they do. But certainly as someone who knows what's going on there, I can hear the work, and it's really impressive, as well as just enjoying it from a head banging perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think my background in orchestra and playing with like 100 people. Yeah. Sometimes when I was playing with a band, playing with the drums, I was like, wait, now when's the next section going to happen?
No, this is it. This is it for 3.5 minutes. Then we stop and start another song.
Exactly. Yeah. I actually remember playing it probably might not entertain the listeners as much, but I remember playing Mahler 1, and it's just so epic. And I remember my first time playing, I was playing like the bass drum, and like it was just, there's just so much happening everywhere, and like rushing strings happening everywhere, and percussion going wild, and like that's what I absolutely love dance music as well, and like kind of this music is kind of a mixture between like orchestra music and like dance music and indie and just kind of everything you can throw into it is in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even hearing, and don't kill me for saying this, I'm even hearing elements of K-pop. In some of the kind of bigger chorusy parts, just that, again, that kind of unrestrained, big feel-good sound, those releases, after the big builds and the drop and all. You're doing all the things that tick the box. I love it.
Oh, brilliant, yeah. But I think with the acoustic version, as you can tell with music, and what we're talking about, I absolutely love like the kind of big and epic vibe. Yeah. And like with the acoustic version, it's like the total opposite. Yeah,
it's a lovely juxtaposition. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing with Red. And I've the mix engineer that helps me work on these is going to play the guitar with. He has played the guitar on I Can't Sleep. Yeah. He's going to play it on Red, and we're working on it at the moment, and it's pretty cool, to have that complete different vibe, and I think it also I found with the I Can't Sleep acoustic version that it was even more kind of emotional. Yeah. And some people said that they didn't, that when they listened to I Can't Sleep acoustic, that they really heard all the lyrics, they really bonded with all the lyrics. And I think it's a great way to show people, the song. And then if people didn't like I Can't Sleep, the normal version, and they like the acoustic version, then they go back and they like the normal version as well. It's just been eye-opening, and that it's just been amazing experience.
Yeah. Well, you're right. It has a huge like production choices have a massive effect on, I guess, in the emotional resonance of a track. And of course, in the normal version of I Can't Sleep, it's very rousing, and it almost, the music kind of, is very exciting, and it kind of calls you to action. I read even more so, I think. Yeah. But yeah, then the acoustic version is much more kind of introspective. It reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you've ever seen, the song "Take on Me" by a-ha. Yeah. Obviously the main version, brilliant song, crazy 80s, like the peak of that weird European 80s pop sound. But then a few years ago, they're all older now, and they did a live acoustic version, and it's like so touching. It's so, you're nearly crying by the end of it. You think, this is Take on Me, my God. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
When I played I Can't Sleep first, because I was doing a showcase actually on Zoom actually for a couple of Americans, and that's when I first came up with the idea to do acoustics, because I couldn't play the whole thing, the whole production for them, and there was Grammy winners there. It was pretty mental, because of the lockdown. Like, it was actually my first performance, because I already had my debut single, and I was playing in front of Grammy winning producers, and it was unbelievable. And so when I played I Can't Sleep first and did the arrangement of it, I actually started crying. I was like, this actually means a lot, this whole thing, this whole journey. As a drummer before, you really get the feel of the song as a drummer, and you have a job, you are the rhythm, and you're there, you're keeping everybody together. But it was a totally different experience as writing the song and singing it, and just expressing everything. And it was just really vulnerable, and it was just brilliant, and I absolutely loved it. And then I went straight and recorded it afterwards, and I was like, yes,
what a buzz.
I'll take this.
Yeah, and but also it's like, I guess it's a sign as well of a good song if it can survive, being played in such a raw fashion. It's probably a pretty good tune. Something like, I don't know, I'm Blue by Eiffel 65 or something like that. Might be a little bit, it requires the dance production for it to work as a song. Whereas if a song can stand on its own in such a stripped back fashion, it is a good sign. So listen, what I'd like, we're going to have to wrap up the interview shortly. However, we're going to listen now, straight after this, to I Can't Sleep, the studio version, and later in the show we'll have a listen to the acoustic version, which is out just this last Friday. And then, of course, you let us know when we're allowed to play Red as well, and we'll give that a blast. But yeah, just give us a quick. I know you gave a pretty good description of it before, but are there any last things you just want to say about I Can't Sleep before we give it a spin, or anything else you've got coming up or you want to chat about?
Well, I think with I Can't Sleep, I hope everybody enjoys it. I think that's the kind of main goal of art, that it provokes something and people enjoy it. And about Red, I hope they enjoy it too. when that comes out, I'll send it to you guys first.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And in terms of where people can find, what's the best place? Obviously, you're on Spotify, Instagram, and stuff like that. So what's your most active social media? Where do you want people to go to find you?
Definitely Twitter.
Okay, cool.
The Twitter machine is lit.
A tweet machine. Wow, you're down with the kids with your sweet lingo.
Absolutely lit. Yeah.
Excellent. So Twitter and if you do find yourself on Instagram and Facebook, you're on all of them anyway. You can't.
I'm on everywhere. Yeah.
And that's Ria Rua, RIARUA. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, listen. Thank you so much for your time. Fascinating conversation. Really enjoy your perspective and your music, and I'm sure everyone at home will too. Thank you so much, Ria.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. Brilliant.
The whole concept of death is terrible.
I can't
just me, it's bureaucracy. How do you choose business or your family? I can see, I can see.
The excellent Ria Rua there with her debut single, I Can't Sleep. Ladies and gents, it's time to end this week's show. We'll be back next Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Near FM with another Rhythm and Roots. But we're going to finish the show today with American Quartet, Carolina, in the morning. And what we're going to do as well is just tell you that during the interview we did speak about hearing the acoustic version of I Can't Sleep. We're going to listen to that next time because we are a little tight for time and we want to give it its proper airing. So we'll check that out next week. For now, do enjoy the rest of the programming here on Near FM for the rest of the night and the rest of the week. And we will see you all very... Let me try that again. We'll see you all again very soon. Good night.
Good night.
Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Wishing is good time wasted. Still it's a habit, they say. Wishing for sweets I've tasted. That's all I do all day. Maybe there's nothing in wishing, but speaking of wishing, I'll say nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. In Carolina, no one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. The morning, with the morning glory, shine around the door, whispering pretty stories I long to hear once more. Strolling with my girlie where the dew is pearly early in the morning. In Carolina, butterflies will flutter up and kiss each little buttercup at dawning. If I had a lad and lamp for only a day, I'd make a wish and here's what I'd